On September the 17th of 2023, our church has decided to have a Back to Church Sunday. This is something that we have talked about and discussed for quite a long time, and now we are ready to do it, so we're getting these plans implemented. The purpose in this, our ultimate goal, is to draw in young families and get them plugged into Sunday school. Our desire is to get them plugged into Sunday school in that small group base where they can be more likely to build relationships, and build those relationships are going to be lasting relationship. Our ultimate purpose in this is to get them plugged back into the church to where they can be discipled and also evangelized. But our ultimate purpose is to disciple them within the body of Christ. We're going to do this in multiple ways. In fact, we've already began this. Beginning of June, I began talking about this from behind the pulpit. I began promoting this from behind the pulpit. I also began preaching a variety of messages to encourage the church to get behind this, to be involved, to get active. We also encourage the church members to make a list of individuals that they are going to invite. And as they make this list, to go ahead and begin making this list right now, well before the time that we're going to have our Back to Church Sunday, that they can use that list as a list to pray over, and they can put as many or as little as names on there as they possibly can. And they don't have to just be individuals that have come to our church before. In fact, they don't have to be individuals that have come to any church before. We want them to come and get plugged in and be involved. So we're encouraging our members to make that list. We're also encouraging our members to pray for the future of our Sunday school classes and our Sunday school teachers, both those that we already have and those that we're going to establish. We're going to redesign our Sunday school department. We're going to make it more geared towards young families, towards children, and towards young adults, specifically young married adults. And so in doing so, we're going to start some new classes. And some of those new classes, we're going to start a few new classes for children. We're going to start new class for youth. We're going to start a young couples Sunday school class. We're also going to start a woman's Sunday school class in case we get some single mothers that come, and included along with the classes that we already have as well. We're also going to call upon individuals to surrender to teach Sunday school. Again, we don't want just anyone to teach Sunday school. We want them to feel led of the Lord. So we are right now calling upon the church to pray for those future Sunday school teachers and pray for those future Sunday school classes. We've already had some step up to the plate and agree to do that. And as they are stepping up to the plate and doing that, we are letting that be known to our church to where they can be prayed for as well. We're also going to have our Sunday school teachers and our Sunday school classes established before the end of August to where we can have them trained, and we're going to have some leaders from our state convention that is going to come in and help train them. We're going to have our Sunday school classes and all of our facilities completely ready and prepared for that time to where it'll be a place that is welcoming. It'll be a place that is usable and user-friendly, I guess you could say, to those that are going to be coming in, and not only to our new individuals that are coming in, but also to those who have been coming in. We're going to ensure that all of our facilities are adequately prepared. We're also going to have a special time of prayer on September the 3rd. Again, we're going to have all of these classes. We're going to have all of these teachers ready by the end of August. We're going to have them trained. We're going to have our facilities prepared. And then on September the 3rd, during our Sunday school hour, instead of having a lesson during that time, what we're going to do is we're going to have a specific time where everybody gets together and we're going to pray. We're going to pray through each one of our Sunday school classes. Individuals are going to go out on their own. They're going to be able to walk through each one of those Sunday school classes. They're going to be able to pray in each one of those Sunday school classes, and they're going to be able to pray for our Sunday school teachers within each one of those Sunday school classes. They're also going to come back into the sanctuary, and as they come back into the sanctuary, they're going to pray for those lists of names that are already being written are going to be placed upon our altar, and we're going to come into the sanctuary and we're going to pray over those lists of names, possibly people that we don't even know who they are, but God has placed them upon individuals' hearts, and they've been placed upon the altar. We're going to go in there and we're going to pray for those that are on those lists, that God would draw them in. Then the Sunday after that is really geared towards those who have already been coming. That's September the 10th. It's geared towards those who have already been coming, and so we're going to have a time, again, instead of a lesson that day, we're going to have a breakfast during our Sunday school hour, also a Sunday school registration, because a great majority of our individuals that come, they come to church, they come to worship service, but they don't come to Sunday school. And so our hope is before our Back to Church Sunday that we will be able to get individuals that are not already plugged into Sunday school, get them plugged into Sunday school that week prior. A couple of weeks prior to our Back to Church Sunday, which is going to be September the 17th, we're going to encourage our members to go ahead and start inviting those individuals that are on their list. I'm going to write a letter to church members that are inactive and encourage them, invite them, and encourage them to come. I'm also going to write a letter to the families of children that have come to our VBS that aren't plugged into our church. And we also have an Awana ministry where the majority of our children that come to Awana are bused in, and the majority of those children that are bused in aren't involved in church. Their family isn't involved in church. So I'm going to write a letter to those VBS children and also to the families of the children that come to our Awana. And that way we're going to be able to reach out to them and invite and encourage them to come. Let them know that there's a specific Sunday school class that is there available for them to come in, to get involved and to be plugged into that. Also, a couple of weeks ahead of our Back to Church Sunday, we're going to start a social media campaign, and we're going to just blast social media. We're going to encourage all of our church members to share on their platform and share it often, as many times as they possibly can, to where social media will absolutely be saturated and people might even be sick of seeing it by the end of that. But we don't want anyone to be uninformed. At the same time, we have some materials that we're going to be passing out to houses all over the community. We're going to be making up little baggies just like these, and we're going to be placing them on 2,500 doorknobs. And so as we place those within the community, we're going to strategically split up our community, and we're going to break up in teams, and we're going to go out 2 weeks ahead of time and put those little baggies on the doors. They have a gospel track in there that will be in those little baggies. They have a Jesus DVD that's used on mission fields, foreign mission fields all over the world, has been for years. That's been provided for us by the Pearl River Baptist Association. Also, the Gideons put these out. It's basically the book of Mark. It is the book of Mark, and it has some commentary in there about the different scriptures. Those will be put in there, as well as an invitation to our Back to Church Sunday that has information about our church, but letting them know that we're going to have a very special day on September the 17th and invite and encourage them to come. We're also going to train greeters that are going to be stationed. They're going to have stations at each one of our entrances, and they're going to be placed in each one of those entrances, and they're going to be there to give guests that come information about the church, give them visitors cards to fill out, and they're also going to be there to direct them. They're new, they don't know where to go, so they're going to be pointed in the direction, whether they need to go to the nursery or a Sunday school class or whatever it is that they need to go. Where's the restroom? They're going to tell them all of those things. And so in so doing, when we have our Back to Church Sunday, we're going to make the atmosphere as warm and welcoming and inviting as we possibly can, encouraging all of our members that are always coming to to greet them and greet everybody that is sitting around you. We don't want to terrify people. We don't want to overwhelm them. But if somebody is sitting directly next to them, to make sure that they are welcomed and that they are greeted. When individuals come in, if they fill out that visitor's card, I'm going to write them a letter thanking them for coming. If they have come to Sunday school, somebody from the appropriate Sunday school class is going to write them a letter and thank them for coming and encourage them to come back. If they have not been, if they didn't attend Sunday school, maybe they only came to worship service, then somebody from an appropriate Sunday school class will also write them a letter giving them information about their Sunday school class and inviting them to that Sunday school class. If somebody makes a decision, then either myself as a pastor or one of our deacons will follow up with that decision. If they mark on their visitor's card that they'd like more information about the church, then a phone call will be made to them and an offer to come by and visit with them. If they would like a personal visit, then we will visit them. If they don't want a personal visit, then over the phone, then we will tell them as much information about the church as we possibly can. I ask you to be praying for our Back to Church Sunday and pray that God will send in all kinds of folks, but specifically families, and that they won't leave the same. If they're not saved, they will get saved that day, and they will get plugged in, active, and involved as a family, and we will disciple them and see them grow.